Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Break the Fake, where we debunk fake news and combat false narratives. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and let's get rolling. Now, let's rewind to August 28, 1963. The historic March on Washington, D.C. aimed at ending racial segregation. It was there that Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his iconic I Have a Dream speech, envisioning a world where people are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. But that was 60 years ago. Fast forward to 2024, Moscow. A crowd of drunk Russians marches on mock Washington with rubber rockets and hatred in their eyes. Point our strategic nuclear missiles at U.S. cities, they chant. March on Washington right in the heart of Moscow. The whole scene looked like a bad joke, and the protesters don't get that they're the punchline. Good job, Russia. You've managed to turn a profound message of equality and hope into a ridiculous display of vitriol and absurdity.
За Белгород! Донбасс и Крокус! Берем США в фокус! Для победы России требуем ввести полетные задания в наши стратегические ядерные ракеты и нацелить их на города Соединенных Штатов Америки! Ярс, Сармат и Посейдон! Берем прицел мы! Вашингтон! На 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 Вашингтон! Яр! Сармат! И Посейдон! Берем прицел мы!
Now, talk about cringe. If you're somehow unfamiliar with the term, this is it, in its purest, most nuclear form. Just imagine the mental gymnastic it took for the strategic thinkers in Russia to stage this parade of idiocy. It's so ridiculous, you almost have to assume that is a joke. My colleagues up in the newsroom even speculated that this could be a staged event. I mean, it's hard to believe this sort of complete and utter self-debasement could be done unironically. Congrats, Russia. We didn't think you could do it, but you've managed to out-cringe yourself. Dmitry Medvedev is in the news again. The former Russian president recently said that Russia should cause as much harm as possible to the countries that have imposed sanctions on Russia. Yep, you heard that right. Medvedev, in his infinite wisdom, believes that Russia should turn the lives of Americans and their allies into a perpetual nightmare. He said, quote, "Every day we should strive to inflict maximum harm on those countries that have imposed restrictions on our state and all our citizens. Harm them wherever possible, their economies, institutions, and rulers. Harm the well-being of their citizens, their confidence in the future." Sounds like quite the statesman, huh? Medvedev's brilliant plan includes targeting weak points to inflict damage, paralyzing companies and public institutions. He wants to destroy the energy industry, transport, banking, and social services of the United States and its allies to create a fear of the inevitable collapse of all capital critical infrastructure. It's like he's pitching a villainous plot in a bad action movie. Now, this level of melodrama and misguided hostility would be laughable if it weren't coming from a former world leader. So, cheers to Medvedev for reminding us all that when it comes to political tantrums, Russia still holds a gold medal.